Welcome to this week's episode of the Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned podcast. If you've been following along lately, you know that something has been brewing, and I am so excited to share with you exactly what that is. So, what we have coming up is something we've been working on for almost a year. It is a curated, powerful women's leadership and lifestyle festival, and it's going to be hosted at the Pillar and Post in the stunning Niagara-on-the-Lake. Wake the F Up Festival. Whatever the F is, you need to wake up, whether it's fun, focus, freedom, or the other one. We have designed a transformative experience just for you. This isn't just another leadership conference. It's a celebration. It's a breakthrough. And it's coming together as powerful women ready to align your success with true fulfillment. Imagine connecting with like-minded souls, diving deep into professional growth, and walking away not just inspired, but truly awakened. We're talking about electric energy, real conversations, and actionable insights that you can take back into your business and life. We've got an amazing lineup of speakers, including the powerhouse Olympic champion Elizabeth Manley, the unstoppable swagger coach Leslie M., and so many other absolutely powerhouse women who are ready to pour all of their gifts into you. I'll have all the details linked in the show notes, so make sure you check that out after the episode. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. It is time. It is your time to find another way to actually lean into being ambitious, awakened, and aligned. Now, let's dive into today's conversation and keep that momentum going. Let's go! Welcome to the Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned podcast. I'm Lori Hawkins. I'm your host. And today we're diving into a topic that's deeply personal to me, and that is managing autoimmune. That's my personal experience, but also any health challenges that you may face as a leader. This is a subject that isn't really talked about enough, but it's something that many people, leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs face behind closed doors. My hope is that by sharing my own journey and insights, maybe we can start to crack open, just a little bit even, crack open the conversation that helps others in similar situations. So, fun fact, woke up this morning thinking I was going to record the podcast to do with this delicate topic for me. And of course, it's an inflammation day, which always makes me feel insecure about doing this. So I'll wrap that into the whole conversation. But for those of you who may know me, you may or may not even know this story. I've been navigating my own autoimmune challenges for well over a decade now. And when I was first diagnosed, it felt like my world had been turned upside down. And as someone who thrives on being in control, and that's what's had to unwrap, the unpredictability of the condition was the really hard pill to swallow. I had to learn to manage my health in a way that didn't compromise my leadership or this whole ambitious part of my personality. And yet that's what's taken me on this journey, filled with some lessons, some hard won, but all invaluable, that we really can have this opportunity for success and inner peace and health and wellness to all coexist. It's why I'm so passionate about this. So the first thing is understanding really the impact on leadership when we're balancing our health with this success piece that we want. I think as leaders, and I'm sure you can resonate with this, we feel the pressure to show up as our best self every day, no matter what. But the reality is that health challenges, autoimmune conditions, whatever it is you might be struggling with, they can make that incredibly difficult to really show up all the time. Autoimmune diseases are often invisible to other people, which can lead then to this lack of understanding or support. Whereas some things you can see when people are struggling, autoimmune is like that silent suffering. And also, I know I personally wasn't raised to talk about the things I might be going through. Instead, I was raised to, navigate being strong in spite of. So, one of the biggest challenges I really faced was learning to advocate for myself. Initially, I didn't want to appear that I might be weak or I might not be capable. So, I tried to push through. I pushed harder, and the harder I pushed, the worse I felt. It actually exasperates my symptoms. And I still go through this. Over time, I realized that being open about it wasn't a sign of weakness, but of strength. It has allowed me to create a support system that has been crucial for my well being. And I'm not going to say that I don't wake up days still where it's like, do I talk about this? Do I not? And this is the real leadership paradox because leaders are expected to be strong and decisive and resilient. But when your body is fighting a battle that no one can see, it can feel like you're failing at those expectations. The paradox, this is the real paradox, is that embracing vulnerability and being honest about our challenges, we actually become more effective humans, and more effective leaders, and more effective business owners. We show others that it's okay to not be okay. And honestly, the biggest thing is health must be a priority, not an afterthought. And for me, for decades, it was the afterthought. It was when I have time, I will. And I've come to understand that prioritizing self-care, understanding that looking after self first is the most important step to prioritize your ability to be available for everybody else. I know it's a cliche, but it's the put your own mask on first. And it might seem obvious, but I know for high achieving people, ambitious people, it can truly be the hardest thing to do. I've had to reframe a lot of different perspectives, beliefs that I've had in the past, and to realize that it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Things like following up on having a balanced diet, getting enough sleep, making time for activities that replenish me, both physically and mentally. I was always really good at the mentally part. I could convince myself that reading something new or listening to a podcast, that was acceptable because it was helping my growth. But when it came to more physical things, I would let those go. And so another aspect is really setting boundaries. They're essential. I said yes to everybody and everything. Saying no, even when it's difficult, means that you will say a hell yes to the things that are most important. And also being able to delegate tasks and trusting your team to handle them. For me, setting boundaries has also meant being really clear with my customers, with my team, with my family, with my friends, what my limits are and what I need to maintain my health. And that has been an ongoing journey. It wasn't just about protecting my energy, but also modeling my behavior for the people that I care for, modeling behavior for my clients that need to learn these things, and for my family to help them overcome. And I've had to learn to be flexible because autoimmune conditions are so unpredictable. There are such good days and there are crashes. And to be frank, I can't predict those. I will wake up one day and it's the crash. And embracing flexibility in my schedule and work, it allows me to make a huge difference. It has allowed me to show others that this is possible too. For instance, on days when my symptoms flare up, I allow myself the grace to work from home or take some little yoga nidra breaks. This flexibility has been key in managing my condition while still being productive. And when I'm on fire, I allow myself to be on fire. I go for it. I step in, I lean in, always remembering to incorporate those sacred rituals, and they have to be number one. And I've also learned that a strong support network is crucial. This includes not just your family and friends, but also a professional network. I have found it incredibly helpful to connect with other leaders who've been going through similar experiences, talking about it. I can't believe the stories I've heard. And sharing our stories and strategies is so empowering. And it's actually shown me and reminded me that I wasn't alone on this journey. And that's why I'm sharing this message. I really want to make sure that others don't feel alone either. We can be informed and proactive as well. Autoimmune conditions are really complex and truly misunderstood. I know that they were for me, and I've had to really learn to dive in, and it's different for everybody. That's the unique thing about autoimmune, is that everyone actually has a unique experience. So there's treatment options, there's emerging research, there's incredible wellness people, and I have learned that I have to be proactive in managing my health, not reactive. Don't wait for the crashes, actually manage it in an impactful way, ongoing. And so I have a team. I have an incredible team, not just my doctor, my medical doctor, which is important, but I have a holistic team that helps me stay attuned to my body, will give me the little SOS check-in. Hey, Lori, just making sure you're okay. And that has really been vital. So I think as some sort of inspired action for people that maybe you're on the start of this journey, maybe this will inspire you to really understand you're not alone. The first thing is definitely creating that team and looking at all of the aspects. So I have 4 beautiful souls on my holistic team, and they can catch me when I don't catch myself. So I have the rituals, and also they know me so well. They know when I'm getting off course. They can just tell. It's an energetic thing. And I'm so grateful that they are in tune. I think that's the right word. They're in tune with understanding when I need reminders. And then I think it's about being proactive in all of the incredible clients that I work with on very high-end projects and strategies. They know, and they know that I am going to give it my all for them. And also they understand that we've got to find a way to navigate this together when it happens. So having candid conversations. For a long time, I didn't. I kept it to myself. And I think what actually happened was it affected my reputation, because it was a bit confusing when I would maybe go into a hole for a day or 2 days, because sometimes it's a couple of days. So when I was able to be open, all of a sudden it has strengthened the understanding and helped others to be open. I think also take inspired action to surround yourself with people that understand and are willing to support you personally and professionally. And I think that when you don't align yourselves with people like that, it amplifies the challenges you're going to face. It probably amplifies the health issues. It's really critical and vital to your health that you are aligned energetically with people who are there with you and for you. I will say too, practicing mindfulness has become critical to my overall health. It's things like meditation, deep breathing, breath work, definitely exercise, really, really important. But it might not be that like kind of exercise. It might be yoga that day, really listening to the body. It might be a beautiful slow walk. It might be a really intense hike. Really learning to lean into hearing the body so that my body can react in the way that it needs to. I've really learned to celebrate the small wins, I'll tell you that. And living with the condition, I had someone share with me recently that's a part of my team, is when you have an autoimmune, because I always had this perspective, I am going to heal it, I am going to get rid of it. I think it's more about managing it. I think that was my ambitious side, not being in alignment with the importance of that awakening and that alignment piece, the harmony of the mind, body, and spirit. And having that mindset has really actually helped me even in the last few months versus this, I'm going to get rid of it. It's all about anything that we're experiencing, about being able to manage so that we can support ourselves and therefore be strong for others around us. So, managing an autoimmune condition, well, it's not an easy task. It's so possible, and it's so, I think, supportive to yourself and the world when you can make a commitment to self care and having an openness to being flexible and willing to lean on others when needed. My journey has taught me so many parts of myself that needed to evolve, things I needed to let go, limiting beliefs I had to release. This whole like, I can do everything myself, like a little 2 year, I do myself. I think being able to lean on others is what creates the power of connection and community. And that is actually what changes the world. So I'm sure I shared this story today just because I wanted others that maybe experiencing something like this or on the start of their journey to know that you're not alone and to encourage you to take some steps that we discussed today, and reach out. I am happy to have a conversation with anyone about how you can get into greater harmony and the tools I've leveraged and the people on my sacred team. So if this has resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love for you to share your experiences, connect with us, because the more that we open up, the more that we have these deep, important conversations, the more that we share our truths, because we are all dealing with something. We're all struggling with something. And I'm a big believer that we don't hang on to the stories because we want to focus on who we're becoming and how we're evolving. And at the same time, being able to be real and authentic in who you are and the things that are true for you is a part of that being able to step into the future. And that's where meditation has actually really been powerful for me. I leverage Dr. Joe quite a bit. It's sad. I feel like he should know me. I know that people that listen to Dr. Joe feel the same way. He's like such a part of my life. I feel like we're on a first name basis, except he doesn't know who I am. Maybe energetically he does for sure. But I have on my board in my office is, we are becoming the future form of ourselves. We don't want to hang on to the memories of the past. We want to focus on the future and who we're becoming. And I know that every day that I lean into not holding on to having an autoimmune condition as being a part of me, but more this opportunity to continue to evolve and to step in to a higher version of myself. And I think that that is possible for all of us. So that is my story, and I appreciate you listening. And more so, I hope that it's opened up something for you that makes you feel not alone. I think that's the big story. And we love having you here. Please share your stories. And until next time on our podcast, Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned, really focus on your own personal harmony.